What is up, Big Talk Nation? We are back for the attack.
Hell yeah.
After a quick little hiatus, had to take a little summer break, a little summer vacation.
Woo.
And we are back, and we are just what you needed.
Ooh, I like that. Hey, so when you were on your summer vacation, did you play your summer playlist?
I played it all the time. I played it for everyone, anyone that would listen, and anyone that didn't want to listen got a nice earful of the summertime.
Did you play mine too?
Yeah, I play yours too.
Once in a while?
Once in a while.
Like yours 3 times, mine once.
Just
Yours
yeah.
3 times, mine once.
Yeah.
All right.
There we go, guys. We are back, and we're going to just change it up just slightly. We're going to do the Cars.
Yeah, I'm
Cars,
excited, man.
And I'm excited too. A band that everybody knows does not get the respect they deserve. And, man, I really can't wait to do this episode, man. I'm actually pretty excited about it.
You know, doing my homework, dude, they really, I think I feel more appreciative now than I ever have before on the Cars.
Mm-hmm.
I heard their music, it sounds good, blah, blah, blah. But after the homework, I'm like, man, this was a great band, dude.
They were a great band. Let's go ahead, dude. I mean, we're debating on what to do. So we just, let's just do their complete greatest hits that came out in 2002, February 19th, 2002. It's a 20-track greatest hits.
Nice.
In chronological order, which actually most greatest hits aren't, but I kind of like that this one makes it a little bit easier to kind of go through their timeline as a band. So
all right.
I kind of like the chronologicalness of it. And yes, you guys, your eyes are not deceiving me. I am got my facial flair going on this episode. The stash is in full effect.
I love it, man.
Love it now because it'll be leaving soon. All right, guys. Hey, so this is the Cars right here. This is the first track off of their Complete Greatest Hits. And that's the album we're doing, Complete Greatest Hits. Just What I Needed, which was the first release off of their debut album, The Cars.
The Cars, man. Which is a hell of a debut album.
Yeah, it is.
There are a lot of songs. I don't know how many songs are on here. At least 6 out of the 9 that were on that debut album are on this compilation. Damn, dude.
Yeah. 7, I think. Maybe 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. And more probably could have gone on there, too. There's some songs that are on here that aren't on here that probably could have been, because this album, top to bottom, is a really great debut album.
I want to say, I think there was only one song I would have liked to see on the greatest hits from their second album called Candio, the actual song Candio. I love that song, and when it wasn't on here, I was like, okay, cool, but that's still a killer song from personal deep cuts that I loved about it.
Well, this is greatest hits. This isn't deep cuts.
Well, I know, but that's what I'm saying. It was like that song was a deep cut to me because it wasn't really a single, but you never know. It sounded good, man. I would want it on here. How about that?
Here we go. Track 2, My Best Friend's Girl, which was also on the Cars. We'll let you know when we change studio albums, but this is also off the Cars debut album. And man, dude, another great one, dude. I mean, My Best Friend's Girl. This one is another one you hear a lot on radio.
Yeah, definitely.
I love it. My Best Friend's Girl. It was also a release off of their album. It was the number 2 release, October 10th, 1978. Just When I Needed, which we just heard, was released May 29th, 1978. Do you want to give a little background on this band at all, or I know we're not the podcast that does the history of a band, but we do like to do a brush over cursory of the band. Is there anything you want to say? I can go ahead and go into it. Is there anything you want to say about the startings of this band and how they came together?
I found out that Rick and Ben were like kind of in another band before the Cars, and I think that's their dynamic together made them want to start something new. And I think this is what came out. But man, this was definitely. You know what? I'll say this about the Cars before we start. The Cars in the 70s, 80s was definitely that band that whatever group or whatever genre of music you were listening to, you could enjoy this band. Whether it was the punk rockers, whether it was new wave, a little bit of rock and roll, there was some, some style, synthesizer type music that this group had it all in there. and they made a music to everyone's appeal to this. A little bit of this. If you like that, you kind of like this. You like this, you like that. That's what I want to say about the Cars, dude. So I'm very, very, very excited about it.
Yeah, dude. So before they were the Cars, the members played in various different bands, and OK Sick and Orr met in Cleveland, Ohio. They saw each other performing and stuff like that, and Orr was in a band called the Grasshoppers, and that's where Rick Ocasek saw him, and he kind of got in and said, hey, we should do something together. They moved to Boston in the 70s. They took on a couple other artists. They started like a folk group kind of a thing called Milkwood in 72. They had one album that came out with that band. After that, they made another band called Richard and the Rabbits. That's when Greg Hawkes joined the band, who all went to Berkeley, who played saxophone on Milkwood's album. And then Hawkes, to join their band, had actually left the Martin Mull and His Fabulous Furniture, which was like a musical comedy. If anybody knows who Martin Mull is, it was like a musical comedy stage act kind of thing they had going on. He left them to join these guys. Then OK Sick and Orr were kind of doing some acoustic things on the side at some coffee shops, so on and so forth. They were working on some songs that became early Cars songs. Then they teamed up with another guitarist, had a band called Cap and Swing. It was like a jazzy kind of a thing. OK Sick didn't like the jazzy sound, kicked that guy out, recruited a new member. Who was it? I got it in here somewhere, but I can't see it right now. Anyways, they started getting some radio play, started becoming popular. They were the Cars, and kind of things went from there. But yeah, like you said, the original members are Rick Ocasek on rhythm guitar, Benjamin Orr on bass guitar, Elliot Easton on lead, Greg Hawkes on keyboard, and David Robinson on drums.
Nice, man. That was a good rundown, dude.
And, I know we just glossed over, and I know there's probably some stuff, and people are going to probably say, you missed this, you missed that.
Yeah.
But you know what?
We miss it.
Get your own damn podcast.
There you go. And we'll listen to you and make sure that
we will.
We'll get in.
So,
all right.
Track 3, Good Times Roll.
Yeah.
Another great one. Still on that first album, The Cars, man.
Definitely. This is also one of those great, good songs that is killer, and I loved it. I don't know if you knew, Chris, but there's a band called Powerman 5000. They did a cover of this on their first album and second album. We'll say first album, and they rocked it up a little bit, and it was killer. So I love their version, and I love the original version on there. And it's actually, good. Let the good times roll. It's easy. It rolls off the tongue. Mm-hmm. Hey, Chris, let the good times roll.
That's right. Let the good times roll.
And there we go.
Man, I didn't realize how great this debut album was until I actually started listening to it.
Right?
I went and listened to Greatest Hits. I go, well, let me listen to these albums, see, check it out. This album's really good, dude. For a debut, it's really good. Let's go over some factoids on it. I know we're talking about the greatest hits, but album per album, we'll kind of talk about each album as well. How many times platinum do you think this album went?
6.
So you already know all this stuff. Okay, so on the U.S. Billboard, it hit 18, UK 29. It sold 6 million albums. Went platinum in Australia, in Canada, New Zealand, silver in the UK. And at the year-end charts for the U.S. Billboard, it was number 4, 79 at the end of the year.
Nice.
And on U.S. Billboard at the end of 1980, it was number 48. So, well-performing album. Good stuff here, dude. Good stuff
killer,
here.
Dude.
So the band started recording a lot of demos in 77. And, like Just What I Needed, My Best Friend's Girl, started getting played by some local DJs. And Arista and Elektra were both trying to court the Cars. They ended up signing with Elektra, which most of their catalog is on Elektra. And they kind of chose Elektra because they didn't have many new wave acts. They had the Eagles, they had Jackson Brown. They said, let's go with them. Because they don't have anything close to what we have. Some of the other labels did. So that was a great choice that they made, New wave, power pop, synth rock band. And the man made a choice to go to a label that didn't have much in that arena of music. So, man, good for them.
That was a good choice, man.
Love it, dude. You want to go to the next song?
Sure.
But let the good times roll. Let's go.
It sounds funny because I was going to say, when the song starts, and a lot of these songs I'll say, when it starts off, it sounds one way, but then when it kicks into the groove, it's a whole different other song. And I've noticed that a lot of their they like to start off one way and then move into something else. And
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like, goddamn Cars, and it's good.
Sometimes they give you a lot of their songs. They give you that kind of slow start, and they build up through the song, and the chorus really hits you. Sometimes the pre-chorus also. But man, you're all I've got tonight. This is a great song right here, dude, and it does just what you just said. It definitely does that build up, the sing along chorus right there with the whole group. Love it, dude. The great harmonies, dude, in the choruses. Great harmonies throughout the songs, dude. I love it.
I was going to say a lot of their background music or a lot of background singing was on point. I think they're underrated in the background, but they had some players and, musicians were just excellent, man.
Yeah, for sure, dude. For sure.
I want to say who I thought listening to this compilation and also listening to Greatest Hits and also listening to, doing some homework, that the guitarist, Elliot Easton, underrated guitarist, bro.
Yeah.
Underrated guitarist.
Yeah.
If you really needed to look at it, man, he really surprised me on how good he was. Or, I was watching a few live stuff that they had, and man, this guy knew how to rock, man. Like you said, they may have a lot of synthesizer or keyboard sounds, but he held his own on rocking.
Yeah.
I
couldn't agree with you more. He definitely underrated. I've never, honestly, until I started, we're going to do the Cars, I didn't even know who he was. I don't think you did either. Most people probably don't. Rico Kasich maybe, or the only two people know. But, man, the guitar playing is superb. It's superb. They are a synth pop kind of band, going on new wave thing, so the guitars aren't necessarily the thing that people think about right off the bat when they're talking about that kind of a band. But, man, for these guys, the guitar playing is excellent. Excellent. Let's go to the next song.
All right.
This is Bye Bye Love. We're still on that first debut album. The artwork on this album, it's got the girl with the huge smile. Looks like she's driving the car and stuff. So that girl that's on there is actually Natalia Medvedeva. She's a Russian-born model. She was a singer. She did some other stuff. And the Cars like to kind of do their covers.
Yeah.
Going forward, they did their own. But this is one they actually let the label do. They weren't big fans of it. They had another thing they wanted to do. It ended up being like the inner sleeve. They didn't like all the smiley, glossy pictures of them on the album all over and stuff. So they were disappointed, but going forward, they kind of, had a lot more say in what we're going to do. And when you have a debut album that does 6 million copies, they kind of give you a little more leeway,
I was going to say, I heard that the David Robinson, the drummer, he would do side project of photography, and from that point forward, artwork and stuff, he's the one that designed the album covers for the rest of their.
I know that he had a lot of work in the concepts and stuff.
Yeah.
And I know they had some artists that did a lot of the drawing and the artwork and stuff like that for there. But yeah, he was definitely the guy that was, the fashion guy, the art guy. He definitely pushed them in that direction, gave them their look, if you will. So yeah, you're spot on with that.
But you know what? That's kind of funny. Who would think the drummer would do that? I mean, it's usually like the singer or somebody else in the band. But here's the drummer coming up with some creative, juices and doing stuff. He's just not in the back holding the beat down, dude. He's doing getting his 2 cents worth, man, or 2.5 cents worth. You know what I mean? You ready to move on?
I'm ready to move on. Let's
we got
go.
a lot to say about
we got 20 songs on this bad boy, and we're only at number 5. Let's go.
This next song, if you don't know, Moving in Stereo was in one of my favorite movies ever, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure
one
you
of
know
mine
it
too.
is.
Oh yeah, Fast Times.
Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Of course, the classic scene, Phoebe Cates coming out of the pool. Everybody with a videotaped, stop, rewind. But anyways, this song had it. And when I talk about the songs sounding differently. So the keyboards, who is it? Greg Hawkes. He's, from the 5 songs we already heard, his synthesizers, his keyboards are on point. Excellent. And this song has just proven that these guys are not just, hey, we're going to go out there and play. We're going to give you a different sound, almost like an art rock. We're going to make you feel something different. And that's what this song, I think, really, when I first heard it, I didn't really think anything of it. Saw the movie and thinking, oh my God, this is the greatest thing ever. And it's just killer, dude.
It's one of the most iconic movie scenes, at least for me, from the 80s for sure. But Phoebe Cates coming out of that pool, I can see it vividly with the red bikini.
Yeah. Judge Reinhold taking a peek at her through the bathroom.
It's great. And I was watching, I think it was on the DVD or Blu-ray. They always have those extras around there. Yes, DVD and Blu-ray. And they had an interview with the director, and they were saying how they kind of had to have like people. Yes. They had to really put like stuff up high around the whole house so nobody would get on rooftops and take pictures and try to sneak a peek at Phoebe Cates coming out of the pool taking her top off. Which actually, honestly, I don't remember the first time that movie, but looking back at it now, I go, wow, how unexpected that would happen. Right? Like you didn't expect that to happen at all in that movie. And it's just, oh, shit. Okay.
I do remember them saying it was a close set. Like, if you were working on it, you had to, be there to do something. Okay, fine. If you're just a bystander and you're just looking, or you're an actor that's off today, no, you're not here. Go to the front of the house and wait till you're done.
Yep.
But this scene or this is what we need. Small, little. We're doing that. That's what I heard on that one, and I think she mentioned it too on interviews, and she was all like, well, blah blah blah. Anyways, going back, man. Like I said, this is still. Excellent song, different. It doesn't sound like the first 5 songs we heard. Totally different, totally off. Totally.
Yeah, for sure. One thing I kind of want to talk about is, a greatest hits album. Only 3 of these songs that we've heard so far have been releases. Just What I Needed, My Best Friend's Girl, and Good Times Roll. Those were the only 3 so far that we've heard. They peaked at 27, 35, and 41.
Wow.
So that tells you that. You're All I've Got Tonight, Bye Bye Love, and this one, Movie in Stereo, they weren't releases. But in movies, probably played on their radio, local radio got played, on radio, in live concerts, just became favorites that you got to put it on here. That's why it's called the Complete Greatest Hits, because that's exactly what they are.
Exactly.
The Complete Greatest Hits. All right, are you ready to go to the next one right here?
Hell yeah, man. Go ahead, take it.
Let's go. Is exactly what we're going to do.
There you go.
Let's go to Candy-O.
Second album from the Cars, Candy-O. This is killer, dude. I mean, they had a debut album, killer. I mean, let's not lie about it. They did, here's our second album after we toured, after we did this. We took a break. We're ready to roll, ready to write some new songs. They came out with this album. This album is, I think they dropped the ball and picked it up and ran with it, dude. This is great.
Yeah, and this thing was released just basically a year later. I don't think it's as good as their debut. Changed their sound just a little bit, became a little bit more synthy.
Okay.
Headed in that direction, which they kind of go away from and then go back to in their career. But yeah, dude, this song right here is killer. This is one of my favorite car songs, dude. Let's go. I love it, man. It released June 12th, 1979, which is funny. It was released one day before. Nowadays, they release a single months before an album. This was released the day before. Let's go. I love it, dude. Everybody's heard this song. It's great.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a great song. Love it. A lot of people think about when they do this, they hear like the clapping, and that's what they want to recreate, either if they're like hanging out or hearing the song.
And on this album, they gave a little, because Rick was the primary songwriter here. But on this album, they gives a little bit more, let's let everybody else kind of get involved. He'd come in with an idea, they'd play it. If people absolutely hated it, they wouldn't do it. So everybody got a little more say. Second album with their producer, what's his name? But let me scroll down here quick. Rory Thomas Baker, who was the famous Queen producer.
I was going to say that, yeah.
So the first time they had him produce the first album, it was kind of like just let him kind of run the show. But now they felt a little more comfortable having them all say like, hey, let's, like Rick even says, one of the things he remembers is, let's hold back a little bit on those really layered background vocals, that are harmonizing. Let's kind of maybe, in places go away from that. They felt a little more comfortable being able to do that, which is good as a band. You just don't want the producer to run away and do whatever they want with it. So, good for them. Good, and I think that definitely benefited everybody involved. And man, this album peaked number 3. So that first album, which I think, what did I say, it went to 27 or something like that. This one to number 3. They definitely established themselves. And because sometimes on that debut album, if it's not like right out the box, you're gonna get, especially back in the day, you get that. It's a slower build, so you don't get that debuts all at number 1.
Correct.
For your debut album. It's usually like the second or third album where you get those debuts. So, man, I love this song. Let's go to the next one.
Right.
It's All I Can Do.
Yeah,
not one of my favorites, to be honest. It's not one of my favorites.
You know what? But they slowed it down a little bit. It still has the feel of the Cars, and it's a little different. And that's what they kind of go. You're right. It's not one of my favorites too, but I'm digging it and love it. Hey, I want to also say that the album cover was very iconic for me when I was a kid. Right?
Oh yeah, dude.
They have a very beautiful girl. Of course, artwork painted, and she looks like she's in a sheer or nighty negligee. No, maybe
it's like a sheer sheer bathing suit, long sleeve,
there
one
you
piece.
Go. That you can definitely see through it. So I think that's how they didn't get a little sticker. I'm kidding,
maybe.
And but and then she's laying on top of a car, and the car is penciled in. So the car's penciled. A beautiful girl laying on your hood, that kind of stuff. So it was very iconic for me, and I definitely loved it to see that. One of my favorite album covers from the 70s.
Well, let me go a little more in depth for you on that.
I love it.
A little more in depth for you. Her name is Candy Moore. It was the model. And you can also see her on the cover of the Rick James Street Songs album, wearing a red shirt, and on the sleeve of the 45 single for Ghetto Life. She's on that as well. And
from Rick James?
From Rick James.
Okay.
And sometimes she gets confused with an actress of the same name that was in the Lucy show, Lucille Ball did the show, but it's a different lady. And yeah, dude, so there you go. It's kind of nice to put a name to some of these people you see. It's just an art, it's just a drawing, it's just a painting.
Yeah.
But it's actually somebody that, modeled after.
That's killer, dude. I like that. Good info. Good info,
dude.
Chris.
And it's actually the car she's on top of is a Ferrari 365 GTC4.
Woo!
And painted by Alberto Vargas. He did a lot of the pinup paintings for Playboy and Esquire from the 40s to the 60s.
All right.
And the model dated Robinson for briefly afterwards. They were boyfriend, girlfriend. The drummer's fucking killing it, dude. Think he's Tommy Lee over here or what, dude?
Right, dude?
Tommy Lee's modeling his career after this guy right here.
Right?
I love it.
Damn.
Let's go to the next song.
Next song, dude.
Oh, man, that's good stuff right there.
That was.
Dangerous Type. This was track 11 on the Candy album. It was the closer. Like I said, this wasn't necessarily my favorite album by them, and these tracks that are from this aren't necessarily my favorite. They changed their sound, they changed it up a little bit. But it's the Cars. It's a Cars album. It sounds like the Cars, so
right.
Good for them. I can't take anything away from it.
Killer, dude. Yeah, same thing. I like it. Same thing. They're still in their moody type songs.
Yeah, it's more of a moody one. That's a great term, right?
Through all these are like this album Candio, but it's killer.
Yeah,
it's still good. Like like here, there's a synth. There's more synthesizers, keyboards on it, and stuff like that, man, which is great.
You ready to go to the next song?
Yeah, man, take me to the next.
Let's go ahead and go.
Yeah.
Let's touch and go. Touch and go. Touch and go. Now, this is the only song off of the Panorama album that came out in 1980. I saw there was only one song from this, so I didn't really go and listen to this album at all. I was just kind of like, just reading about it. It wasn't as... This is where they kind of went more experimental.
Okay.
They kind of went more minimalist. They didn't have all the bells and whistles that they had on their first couple albums and that they actually go back to, after this. people kind of say, I was reading it's like what some of the critics said, they kind of avoided that. They don't want to become a caricature of themselves, I guess, kind of a thing. So, good for them. I mean, they still have the Cars sound, still the same songwriters and stuff, so you're still going to get all that. But just the musicianship and the music's a little bit different. They strip it down a little bit, but it's still got the Cars sound for sure.
I take it they changed producers, right?
On this one, no, they didn't change producers. They didn't change producers until Heartbeat City.
Damn, I thought they would have changed it. Okay.
Same producer.
Same producer.
Rory Thomas Baker.
Okay.
The Queen man. Let's go ahead and go to the next song, dude.
Yeah.
Some people may love this song, and some people may want to hear it. And if you do, you must have a copy of it somewhere so you can go listen to it on your own. Here we go. Shake It Up. Shake it up. Shake it up.
Now it seems that the Cars' music or their album is a little more popish.
Mm-hmm.
So all the sounds that we said before, from rock to new wave, synth pop and all this other stuff, now it sounds like they're got definitely a pop sound to them, and how they go forth from there.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Not saying I don't like the song, and I thought it was funny, and how they promoted it was even funny. They're saying "Shake It Up," but on the album cover, I think there's a girl with a shake, like a strawberry shake or something.
I think
like
that she
has like a.
She's got like a cocktail shaker or
a cocktail shaker, maybe.
Cocktail shaker.
Yeah, and that's how they perceived it. And I think in the music video, which I was looking at yesterday, they were like, shake it up, and then there was like one guy shaking dice, the other guy shaking a drink, and then shaking something else, and I was kind of like, that's funny how they're doing this, man. And you know what I want to say too, the Cars, they really experimented a lot with the music video.
Yeah.
So when MTV was going crazy in the 80s, they took advantage of that and did crazy stuff, just stuff that worked for them. There was a couple of videos I thought were terrible, but maybe at the time it worked for them. So I was like, whatever.
Yeah, and what did MTV debut in 80 or 81?
Let's say 81.
So these guys were right on the precipice,
Yeah.
if you will,
Yeah.
of music video stardom. Right from the gate. Even before there was MTV, they were already making music videos.
Something, yeah.
I don't know where people were watching them, but there you go, dude. And this album right here, Shake It Up, was released November 6th, 1981. They're going like an album every year now, dude. They got the Cars in 78, summer of 78. Then we got the summer of 79. Then Panorama, the summer of 80. And Shake It Up, November of 81. So, yeah, dude.
So they took a little more time to make this one?
Yeah, a little more time.
All right. Give me the next song, man.
Let's go. Hold on, dude. I wasn't ready for you.
All right.
There we go. Since You're Gone.
Yeah, nice.
Also from the Shake It Up album.
Man, they know how to use sounds, huh?
Yeah, dude. They're using everything. They said that on one of their later interviews I was reading about, I can't remember which album it was. I could probably go back here and find it. But they basically went to the music store to buy whatever new sound gadgets. This was a guitar player.
Oh, okay.
What was his name?
Elliot
Easton. Is that his name? Yeah. Elliot Easton. He would go to the store, the music store, and buy whatever new gadgets there were, even though they knew they would be obsolete. They would go buy them, and pretty soon he had like 12, like
something
pedals on his guitar set up for like a quick little show that they would do. And it's like, oh man, dude, these guys are just gadgets everywhere. This is good stuff right here, dude. This is this Shake It Up, Heartbeat City is like my favorite time period for the Cars. These two albums are my favorite of the Cars.
I would have said, for me, debut album and Candio are my favorites on that one. So I like the more beginning part of when they started off the band. They sounded more new wave rock, and now I think they're more popish, but they still kept a lot of their sound and outrageousness that they did. So yeah, that's cool. See, even Rick's sounding on this one, it's still, I want to say it's comedic. Hey, what's going on?
Yeah, dude.
That type of vocals are. I want to say, but it works for this song because it's not overpowering. It's, hey, since you're down,
yeah,
don't leave it.
a little more, not so. I don't even know what the word I'm looking for, but you used the word moody earlier. It's it's a little more poppier, like you said. It goes more with the music, a little more poppier music, a little more poppier vocals, inflection in the voice. Sounds great with the music. That's great, dude. I love it.
Cool.
And of course, like I said, this was the last album produced by Roy Thomas Baker for the Cars. Of course, I love to say from Queen.
That's cool.
From Queen stardom, because Queen is one of the greatest of all time. The Spin Magazine included this on their top 50 albums of 1981. And I can't remember the year. I think it was 2021. Rhino Entertainment re-released it on a neon green vinyl.
Oh,
I think it was
that's
2021.
killer, dude.
I love it, dude. I love it.
I
That's
like
good
a lot of
stuff
those colored vinyl shit, man.
Yeah.
I like it. You know, I don't get a lot. I don't.
Well,
own
if you need new vinyl, just go to Amoeba Music, because they don't sell any goddamn you shit no more, dude. Boycott. You're never going there again, dude. Remember that day we went there?
Yeah, we're not going back, man.
We're not.
We're gonna pass by it.
So Since You Gone hit 41 on the Billboard. Cool. Shake It Up hit number 4. You know, it's kind of funny that when you look at the greatest hits that we're listening to, those were the actually we got one more, I'm Not the One, which is next. 3 songs that were released, or excuse me, that are on this complete greatest hits. But they had more that were released. Think It Over. Let's see. Let me hold on. I might be wrong right here. Let's see. Shake It Up. Shake It Up, Since You're Gone, I'm Not the One. And then Shake It Up, Since You're Gone, Victim of Love, and Think It Over were the releases.
Wow.
But of course, you know, you got to check multiple sources. Shake It Up. Then there was a song Cruiser. And these might also be international releases. It didn't chart in the U.S. Since You're Gone was at 41. Victim of Love, Think It Over, didn't chart. So, you know, sometimes, like you said, they are putting some of these deep cuts on here, Greg, but just not the one you wanted, dude. It's all right. But I like this song, dude. This is a good, nice little slow it down. It's not their best ballad, but I do like this song. This one's a nice one, dude. It's good.
You know, I like the keyboard because it sounds like almost poppy or bubble-ish.
Remember Napoleon Dynamite? Isn't there a song that kind of plays like this at one point? Not the vocals, but the beep, beep. When he's like looking like the girl or whatever. It has something to do with the girl or whatever. I don't know, dude.
That's a good reference on that one, man.
All right, dude. Now let's see. Any other things do I want to say about the Shake It Up album? Yes, I do. 2 million copies. And it peaked at number 9.
Nice.
On the Billboard charts. But now we're gonna go to the next track. You ready? Let's go.
Yes. Ooh. So this is what I was saying. So when they released this music video, this was a little out there. So, you know, I think there was like a girl he was after, and, you know, he was doing different things where, you know, he was a bee and he was chasing her. She was in a picture frame, and he kicks the guy out and poses next to her, or different things like that. And I thought this was kind of funny. You know, the only thing I didn't like about this music video is they showed like the band. They were all together nice and tight, you know, like on a soap.
On a bar of soap.
Or, you know, when she opened up the vanity cabinet. But they were like all small. They didn't put the guys forward. They put Rick's face and his body and all that stuff forward. So he was like the main guy. But, you know, of course it was the band that's this, you know, and they're barely on there. But, you know, like I thought this was a crazy video. And at the time, MTV probably ate it up, and, you know.
Well, if you need to have the band in it, you're not shooting this video. This is a video of him chasing the girl, not the band chasing the girl. So you got to have him, and he's like, maybe they're more like the buddies, like, yeah, man, yeah. Like, you know, you got your guys behind you, you know, backing you up. Maybe there was more like that kind of a thing. But, yeah, you're not going to have, you'll need to shoot a totally different video, which I'm glad they did, because this video was super killer, dude. It won, right? We know that it did win.
Right.
Music Video of the Year at the inaugural MTV Video Music Awards, 84, I think it was. I don't have it right in front of me. I believe it was 1984.
Would it be Michael Jackson now?
Hey, man.
MC Hammer?
Michael Jackson, they told him to beat it. Yeah, Heartbeat City, dude. This album, this is my favorite. It's probably a lot of people. Probably this one and the debut are probably the two most popular.
Okay.
But of course you like Candy-O, which is perfectly fine, dude. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm down with it. 4 million copies on this album. They're still killing it, dude. These guys are well over 25 million albums sold in the U.S. Good for them, dude. On a band that is not considered one of those, upper echelon bands.
Correct.
That's a huge amount of albums for someone to sell.
Nice.
And do we know? I know, but do we know who produced this album?
No.
We don't know. The producer of this album was Mutt Lange.
Get out of town.
I will not get out of town. And
wow.
Yeah, Mutt Lange was the producer on this. And here's the thing.
I thought they had multiple producers.
I think there was one track that got produced by someone else. I think
Okay.
There was one track, but Mutt Lange did the rest. And his commitment to this meant that he wasn't going to be able to work on the Def Leppard Hysteria album because he was committed to this album. But because of the car accident, all the things that happened, the delays in that album, pushed it, but he was able to go to that and help produce and make one of the greatest albums of all time. Def Leppard Hysteria. But let's talk about the cars, baby.
Yes. You know what? I was going to say that was a good insider on that one because he did have, because it definitely was a 4-year gap between these guys.
Yeah.
On that one. But let's talk about this. The cars drive. Now, this is a beautiful song, haunting, magical, everything you talk about, like how I talk about driving songs and Chris, and sometimes I just want to drive and hear music. This is definitely one of those songs that I definitely love, and I love to hear it, man. The original's great. There are a few artists that did some covers. I'm gonna note it because I love it. The Deftones did a cover, which they added their sound to it, which I love, and also a band called 6 a.m. Nikki Sixx's third band after Motley Crue. They did a cover of this too, which I thought was killer. It's not exactly the same, but you can definitely feel everybody put their spin on it, and it worked very well, and I thought it was a great tribute to the Cars, which was this song. Excellent, man. But this song actually really is good, very beautiful. I definitely love it. It's definitely a big hit with me driving.
Yeah, this was their highest charting hit at number 3 on the Billboard. They had, 1, 2, 3, 4 top 10 hits. This was the highest of them all. Drive, man. This is a great song, dude, right here. I love it. This is a great ballad for them.
Yeah, definitely a great ballad.
People actually considered this a comeback album because I don't know what for, but they're saying it sounded more like their debut. I don't necessarily agree with that.
I don't agree with it. Not at all.
It's a lot slicker, a lot more polished, more poppier. Dare I say a little bit less variety than on the first one, but not so much less variety.
The album before this did 2 million. This album did 4 million, and it's a comeback album? No, I don't think so. If you would have said the album before it did 2 million, this did 10 million, I kind of would agree with that statement. 2 to 4, no comeback for me.
All right, there you go. You heard it straight from the
horse's mouth. Yeah,
the horse's mouth. There you go. Love it, dude. Love it.
This is, like I said, Chris, this is a great song. If you want to move on to the next one,
yeah, let's go, dude.
Please move on because we're going to talk about how all the nerds love magic.
What's wrong with being a nerd?
There's nothing, but then, when guys out there who are doing magic, doing a little this, they like to play this song and coming out to it. And then this is their worst video.
Their worst? Oh, I thought this video. I remember this video.
What do you remember? Because I just saw it yesterday. It's fresh in my mind.
Walking over the pool, everybody around it looking all dressed, all weird and funky, and he's out there. God, is he wearing like a tiger suit? What's he wearing? Like
something
a suit?
like that, man.
And he looks all tall and lanky, and his hair's like this, and he's all like, and I'm like, oh my god. I remember the first time I saw it, I was like, how is he walking on the water?
But that's...
Oh, my God. This is awesome.
Well,
magic, baby.
If you noticed...
Yeah, you can know.
On most of the video, they didn't show his feet. Mm-hmm. So you weren't exactly... You saw him...
But they did do that wide shot at the...
Yes. Yeah. You saw him in the middle, or it looks like right where his ankles are at. They went up to there, and then everybody's around. He's waving or doing whatever. He's singing to everybody. And then not till the end is when they do the point where they actually show him walking on the water, and so everybody. Then I think the end, everybody started to jump in like, oh, I can jump in too.
Yep.
And same thing with Chris. How I talked about the band on one of the other songs just being in the background. Not until the end, they kind of show them in the corner. And, they're just hanging out, bopping their heads, playing the
Yeah, I mean, Rick was the figurehead for them.
But Ben was another vocalist that hit. Most of the songs were hits from him.
Yeah, I think most of them were Rick's, but I get what you're saying, point taken. And I'm not defending them. I'm just saying sometimes you just need that guy that's out front. And he was quirky-looking guy.
Yes.
He looked so abnormal, but kind of cool at the same time.
I'll tell you this much.
Like my mustache.
Because I didn't follow the Cars too much prior to this, I didn't know Ben Orr did a lot of the vocals.
Yeah.
I thought it was Rick doing all the vocals, and Ben every once in a while did a song or two. When no, he did a lot of the songs. Mm-hmm. It just, these guys went back and forth to from Rick to Ben playing, and a lot of people were like, well, I couldn't tell the difference. I heard one thing when they said, I really could tell the difference in his vocals. And that's when I took a second thought when I started to hear the album again, one of the last two before. Oh, I can hear his vocal sound. I hear his vocal sound. Similar, but different. And now I know I can distinguish a little more from this then. But yes.
I was going to say something that I forgot because you talked so long. But
oh, really?
Yeah, but hey, I agree with everything you just said.
Which is a fun song. This is definitely a fun pop song, man. If you want to bring to the next one, go right ahead.
Well, we can go to the next one here. Let me go because I got something I want to say.
Okay.
This is Hello Again. We're still on the Heartbeat City. They did perform at Live Aid.
Yeah, I remember that.
In 84, they sang the songs You Might Think, Drive, Heartbeat City, and Just What I Needed were the four songs. I think most people sang like four songs. That's what everybody got. Live Aid, obviously made world famous by Queen.
Yeah.
How many times can we name Queen on this Cars?
You're at 6 already, baby.
At least. Love it, dude. Got my Freddie Mercury style mustache. I name it Freddie.
Why did Queen do 6 songs at Live Aid?
Because they can do whatever they want.
Huh? 6 songs.
What'd they do? What were the songs?
I don't know. I'm messing up.
Radio Gaga. The Hammer Will Fall. We Are the Champions. And We Will Rock You.
I was going to say...
Face.
Ooh.
I'm probably wrong, but I think those are the 4 they did. All right. Yeah, dude, there's another great song up here. Different sound, definitely driven, keyboard driven.
Yeah.
But, back to that poppy synth, new wave sound that was definitely popular to be in the 80s. It seemed like everything was, at least you saw on MTV, was either new wave like this, or even more, or rock.
Yeah.
I didn't have a lot of variety on MTV.
I do want to say I give a lot to Greg Hawkins for his musicianship on all their catalog. Mm-hmm. He really did out there. And they also said that he was really into the modern sound, finding new sounds out there, anything that was the latest and hip. He wanted to incorporate it to a lot of the Cars sound and find a way to do it. He was really into technology. There you go. That's what I was trying to say.
And I would say, I'm just going to go back on what you said, and I just kind of cursory went back and kind of looked at who were vocalizing. It looks like it's about a 70-30 split between Orr and O'Kessick.
Yes.
Which is probably a little more than you might think for somebody that one person is actually kind of known as their lead singer. That's kind of more than you would think. You'd think like, here's one on this album. Maybe next album you can have another, Yeah. And it's kind of funny because they've been together so long and they're best friends or whatever. There was never no like falling out or anything. Just kind of when they went on their hiatus and they were no longer, it was just kind of like we're just not going to do it anymore kind of a thing. It wasn't.
Well, like you said, Rick was definitely one of the main songwriter, and that's what he said. Sometimes he would just let Benjamin sing.
Yeah.
Like, hey, man, I wrote this song. Why don't you sing it? Shit, it should have worked.
You want to talk about the artwork? Album artwork?
I love the one where it was. We're still at Heartbreak City?
Heartbeat City.
Heartbeat City? Isn't it kind of like you see something, but it's only like half? Or is it like a gatefold album where it opened up into something? It is.
It's like, it's one of those things that it opens up and you see like it opens up backwards kind of a thing.
Yes.
So the back of the cover. But it's got a 1970 with Plymouth Duster 340, and the same guy did it, Alberto Vargas, the pinup artist, did it. And it's called, the piece of art is called Art-O-Matic Loop-De-Loop.
Nice.
Is the name of the piece of art. And man, it's pretty cool. The open up version is one. I mean, you're a kid, right? Just like you said with the Candy O one. I mean, you see these album covers, and it's got a girl wearing the shortest of shorts and a tight top and, you know, large breasts. You're like, I could look at this for a while.
Yeah, exactly.
I could look at this for a while. I'm gonna look at this and the Ultimate Sin, dude, right next to each other, dude. Different thing, but same thing.
I'm going to buy 2 so I can keep the one album cover on my wall and the other one
Yeah,
in my record
exactly,
collection.
dude. Exactly.
Nice.
Here we go, dude. Why can't I have, right? Am I on the right song, right?
Yeah.
Why can't I have you? Thought I got like, I don't know what's going on. Also off of Heartbeat City. I know I'm all over the place, guys. That's what happens when we take a vacation, dude. We got to get back into it. So this is our get back into it episode. Next episode, I'll be 100%.
You're doing fine to me, dude.
Okay.
I don't see
right.
anything wrong with you.
All right, dude.
Except your face. I don't know, Chris. I'm digging it.
Thank you. Little something different again.
Yes.
Slowing
totally.
it down. It doesn't. It's not like, but it almost. I don't even want to say it. I was gonna say, it has that slow down tumble like Moving in Stereo does. That kind of like aura, like the aura of sound kind of running through it and stuff like that. So it's definitely different than a lot of the other tracks that are on the album and anything they had kind of done recently. I like it, dude. It's tenderish.
Yeah. There you go. That's a great word for that, tenderish.
There you go,
See,
dude.
like you said, the background vocals on this, man. This band never was chintzy on the background because all these guys could sing on that kind of stuff. I think the only one that didn't sing background was the drummer.
Maybe. Well, he was too busy dating the chicks that are in the on the album, covers. Dude, he was too busy dating the album cover chicks.
Woo!
Crazy, dude. You ready to go to the next one?
Yeah, definitely.
Let's go. We got 2 more tracks up, dude. This is going fast now. All of a sudden, we're on number 19. We got one more after this. Now, this song actually came off of their greatest hits album. Tonight She Comes. It came off their greatest hits album that they released in 1985. It pretty much had, it was 13 songs. This was one that wasn't released up to this point, so it was a new release for them. And I do like this song a lot, dude. It was a great song right here.
This has a very early 80-ish sound to it. You know, if maybe that was in their arsenal, maybe they had it going, they re-released it, reworked it. It has that kind of feel.
It sounds kind of like from something that might have come off of one of the earlier albums. To be honest with you, one of their first 2 albums is kind of what it sounds like.
Yeah.
I love this stuff, dude. The Cars are killer, dude. They're one of those. Sometimes they're one of those bands where a lot of times with kids nowadays, you say, "Oh, you like the Cars? Who are the Cars?" And then you start playing songs, and I go, "Oh, I've heard that one."
Yeah,
you play another one. I've
exactly.
heard that one. Oh, I've heard that one. I know that one. Oh, that's the Cars. Next thing you know, they've heard every single song on that we've just listened to. They just didn't know who it was.
I would have said the average person from the 20, just saying I don't know who the Cars were, would know about 7 or 8 of them on a regular basis.
Oh yeah,
I would
you're
say
right.
the average person on that kind of stuff. To be honest with Chris, I would probably say I knew a little bit more, but like I said, I'm a big music fan as much as you are, and we probably knew a little bit more.
Oh yeah, dude. Music is life.
Yeah. Did you know? I found this out when I was doing my homework that Elliot Easton was one of Slash's guitars. One of his favorite guitarists when he was growing up and learning how to play guitar.
I did not know that.
Yeah, that was just I recently heard that and I was like cracking up going, Slash with Guns N' Roses? Elliot Easton was one of his favorite guitarists? Well, hey.
Well, listen to him right here.
Yeah. Sounds like Don't Cry.
There you go. Yeah, Slash stole all his licks. Slash stealing this guy's licks right here, dude?
I guess so, man.
It was his favorite. He goes, I'm going to steal some of these.
Yeah.
Great stuff right here, dude. We got one more track left to go here. And, man, I can't wait to get to it because then I can tell you where you can see us.
Whoa. All right.
Let's go. You Are the Girl came off the Door to Door album, which was their last album with the original 5 members.
Okay.
Of course, Orr died of pancreatic cancer in 2000.
Yeah.
And this was So this was the last album they had with the original 4. They tried, a couple of the guys got together with some other people, tried to do some new Cars stuff that didn't work out. Then they got inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. What year was that? I don't have that right here, but I'm going to get it right here. Do you know what year that was?
No.
I can't remember. 2019? I'm gonna have to go look that up, dude. But
I would say maybe. That sounds about
I gotta
right.
remember what year, because I can't remember. I think Rick Ocasek, maybe he died in 2018, 2019. I'm not really sure, but I'll have to find it.
And then I want to say that's the last time those guys ever played as the Cars
Oh yeah,
on that one.
here we go. I got it right here, dude. They were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2018,
Okay.
and Rick Ocasek died September 15th, 2019 of natural causes in his home at the age of 75. And that's pretty much it. They had Weezer's bass player. I don't even know what his name is, but is it Kasem Sutton?
Yeah, I think so.
He played bass. Rick Ocasek did produce some of their album, Weezer's album, so they were probably close friends.
Okay.
And he said, hey, come play with us at the show.
Yeah.
And, that was kind of really like as far as like what you would call the Cars lineup, that anybody else besides the original 5 played as like the Cars was at this Hall of Fame show. He's actually listed on their thing as band members, but it's like you can't even see the sliver of how long he was there because it's just one show. So that's kind of cool. Hey, you know what? I want to close it out here, Greg, and I forgot to say all this stuff at the beginning of the show. The Big Talk I didn't even say it at the beginning of the show. The Big Talk podcast with Chris and Gregg is back for the attack. We're live and in your face in living color, baby.
Woo, color.
Here's where you can see us and hear us. You can go, I'm going to try to get through it, at BigTalkCG.podcast on Instagram and TikTok. BigTalkCG@gmail.com. We're on Twitter at BigTalkCG. Facebook and YouTube, The Big Talk Podcast with Chris and Gregg. Just search us up. We got a lot of stuff going on YouTube right now. We got our episodes are up there every week. We got shorts up there. Everything you need to know. Check us out. Hit that bio in the Instagram. That link, take you to our link tree. Find out where you can hear us if you're just cruising around your car, Spotify, Apple, anywhere. Give us a follow. Yeah. Give us a subscribe on YouTube. You will give us a subscribe on YouTube.
And definitely come back for more, man, because we got a lot of other artists, a lot of fun stuff that me and Chris love. And we're just having a good time anyway. So this is Greg from the Big Talk Podcast with Chris and Gregg. See ya.